Hey, Warrior Saints, good morning. Welcome to our Crucifixional live stream. Glad to have you beautiful people in. We appreciate you being with us. You know, we've been talking about words and the way that people, or that the world, society, language, culture uses words and how it affects our thought. So for example, we started this week with the use of the word unicorn, that when you say that word, even though it doesn't exist, it has produced a thought in your mind, a reality, and in some sense, the one who utters the word unicorn takes control of the hearer's mind, because saying the word, you can control exactly what the other person is going to think. And like I said, have been saying throughout the week, by using that word, I know that all of you are thinking about a little white horse with a stick on its head. I mean, it's produced a reality inside your mind. So in some sense, I have control of your mind, right? So that's what we've been looking at, and the challenge is that the world uses language in a specific way. Like we talked about intentionality. What the hell does that even mean, right? Like, what do you mean? Of course you should be intentional in everything you do. Why is it a buzzword, right? So we've been talking about all of these things in the negative sense. We want to wrap this week up in the positive sense by saying you have the opportunity to control your mind, to take control of your mind by the words and by the words that you say, which produce the thoughts that you think. All right, so does that make sense? In other words, rather than just try to deflect and hide and shield off all of the assault of demonic thoughts, why don't you take control? I'm gonna give you a real example. I was having a conversation with someone earlier this week, very intelligent young person, 20s, 30s, and it teaches children, high school, I believe high school children, and in a very tough area. And the person said to me that, tough area meaning, I think from what I could gather, it's another state, so I don't have a firsthand knowledge. But this young person was saying that the kids where they come from are underprivileged and just don't come from wonderful backgrounds, maybe single homes, maybe no parents in their homes. I mean, like, tough stuff. And they come not able to read at grade level, right? So they start, behind the gun, behind the eight ball, whatever the word is. And so this teacher is greeting them, helping them, working with them, and helping teach them to read, to bring their grade level reading up, right? Beautiful stuff. I was really impressed. But the teacher said something to me that struck me, and it was this, that I want to help, and I'm paraphrasing, so forgive. I want to help these kids have the reading ability that they deserve. And that struck me funny. And I'll tell you why. And I agree with the teacher. And I'm proud of them for doing what they're doing, because they're helping these kids that are not given the same opportunities to find. I think it's fabulous. But it struck me as I was listening, the use of the word deserve implied in my mind an expectation. And I thought, why wouldn't the teacher use the word to give them the best opportunity? So now, however you want to look at it, I think the teacher and I are speaking apples and apples, but it struck me that it's the use of the word that defines the mentality. And so I say it like this. Do those children deserve it? Probably. As every other child deserves it. But when you say the word deserve, now you're looking out at the world as though things are somehow corrupt and broken, and there's a system that you fight against, and you feel oppressed, right? That something external is you feel like you're being oppressive, or it's being oppressive upon you, right? And it may be the case, but to use the word opportunity takes that very same situation and flips it around, so that now there is opportunity and the power resides within the warrior saint to make an effect, hopefully positively, on the world out there, right? So the story is still the same. The children still need to learn how to read at grade level, but it's the idea of how you look at the world, and how you look at the world is something that you can control by the words that you use, i.e. deserve versus opportunity. Now, you may say, Father Chris, you're splitting hairs, and that stuff doesn't really matter, and it's not a big deal. I don't know. Paul is going to talk to us today in 1 Corinthians chapter 15. The great apostle says to us, chapter 15 of 1 Corinthians is fabulous. It's a letter unto itself. I mean, it's really fabulous. But he says the following in verse 33. Do not be deceived. Bad company ruins good morals. Come to your right mind and sin no more. And as I read that, he's talking about the resurrection of Christ, and that's what this whole chapter 15 is about in 1 Corinthians. But don't be deceived. Like, don't hang out with bad company. And I think one of the things that we have to be mindful of is bad company means rotten people, for sure. But also, we don't want bad company in our mind, right? To hang out in our mind with a negative, constantly pounding negative attitude about the world. Because that has an effect. You use words like deserve or entitled or free or soft or comfortable. That's what's going to happen in your mind and therefore in your actions. If you start to use words like opportunity, grind, fight, effort, you know what I mean? Like, you can see those things that are going to happen. And these words are harder, right? Because here you're asking somebody to give you for free. These words are harder, but the reward that goes with them is much greater. And so we don't want to be deceived by the powers of this world that use those words, intentionality and deserve and free and soft and all those kind of things. I mean, those are the words du jour. I'm saying, warrior saints, change your words, change your thoughts, change your life, right? I mean, as cliche as that may sound, it's real. It's very real. And so as you make that effort to say, you know what, I'm going to start talking differently to myself and hopefully through that to others, you will see, I mean, you got to trust me, you're going to see a powerful change in your own life. I know that whenever I use the, specifically negative, harsh words like that, I feel that way. But when I say things like, oh my gosh, I've got an opportunity, like now all of a sudden the creative juices are flowing and I'm like, let's find something. Let's look and see. What could there be another way, something new, something creative? It happens. It's just life. So I want you to really take this seriously. As we end this week on our words determine our thoughts and our minds, I want you to remember, we've seen throughout the week how the words control our minds and the negative and the dangerous words that society, culture, that the demons use. Today, I want us to start and implement in our lives how to be positive and use words that can empower me to be out there as a warrior saint living according to the gospel of Jesus Christ, right? I mean, like, this is all what it's all about. I want you to visit us at warriorsaints.org. So this is very important. There's a lot of things going on there at warriorsaints.org. The first of which is that you can get our book. The book is called The Way of the Warrior Saint. It's fun. It's there. Share it. It's a great gift. Father's Day's coming. Resonated with a lot of our ladies, but also resonates with a lot of fellas. So it might be something you want to consider for your dad or a dad to be, whoever, your brother, son, whatever. It's a gift to consider. The other thing, perhaps most important, and this is something that's really powerful in our lives. It is The Way of the Warrior Saint. It's our library, our teaching library, and it is something that is just filled with instructions and lessons about how to live a crucifixional life, how to live a Christ-like life. I promise you, when you get into it, stuff happens. Things get better. Life changes. Not because we're anything, but because Jesus Christ is everything. And listening, learning, and following his will and his way makes all the difference in the world. That can be yours too. We want to share that with you. It's very simple. Right there, warriorsaints.org. Visit, sign up for The Way of the Warrior Saint. We're going to be back next week. We have some fun things we're going to continue in the next coming weeks that are going to be really heavy scripture. So we're going to have fun with the Bible. We're going to talk about and explain the letters of St. Paul. So we'll go through as many of them as we can. We're going to have fun with it. It'll be a great conversation. Love you, beautiful people. Until next time, keep walking on the way of the Warrior Saint.